YouTube saved my life. And I would type in their Steve Jobs interview. And that's what I fed my software with, my supercomputer. And that helped me kind of build a world in my mind that was absolutely delusional. I'm taking the city bus thinking of this future that I might one day have. And that's what kept me going in the dark moments. That delusion and that conviction in saying that no matter what, I'm not going to give up. I'm gonna listen to the customer, make it better and better and better. You gotta look out 2 years ahead is what I've learned. Who do you wanna be 2 years from now? Start talking like that, walking like that, dressing like that, all of that. I think the grit, 13 to 22, being broke, taking the city bus, not knowing what I'm gonna do with my life, going to college and graduating college while I'm building my businesses in my dorm room, just trying to figure it out, I think.
It has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to Circle of Greatness. I'm your host, Nehemiah Davis. 500 million in revenue. $0 to 100 million in revenue before 30 years old. I'm bringing on one of the biggest, one of the best, one of the leading authorities when it comes to e-commerce in the world. Competing with Colgate, competing with Crest. Josh Snow, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
Thank you for coming on the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Man, listen to me, bro. 500 million in revenue, 0 to 100 million before 30.
Correct.
How, bro? Like, what made you say, and we jumping right into it, I'm sorry, but what made you say,
that's my
bro,
style.
I'm competing against Crest? I think you got to be delusional. I'm sure you got some delusion. Like, what made you say,
for sure,
I'm going to do this, bro?
Well, I started with absolutely nothing, 13 years old, young Hispanic kid. No one in my family is an entrepreneur. First in my family to graduate high school, and I'm the youngest. So got to start there because it's important. West Phoenix, growing up in West Phoenix, I just knew that I didn't want to be poor.
Yeah.
That was really the motivation. That was the start. And so I started building websites as a teenager and building websites for other people, kind of starting like an agency. Then I learned how to put ads on those websites. Then I was like, I want to be the person that buys the ads on the websites. How could I do that? And so it was a natural progression over time of entrepreneurship, just moving from one thing to the next. How much will you pay me to make a website? You'll pay me how much every month to market it? So I have to learn marketing. And then after a while, I gained the confidence to say, maybe I could build things of my own. So I started building things of my own, using my teams, my systems to promote my own stuff. But with oral care, I'd always been interested in teeth whitening. I started whitening my teeth at like 13 years old, started in business. I wanted anything that would make me feel more confident. I used to go on eBay and buy this black market stuff and put it on my teeth. The downside of that is I ended up with super sensitive teeth as a result of it. So I was like, well, what do? I can't go to a dentist and do the treatment because I get too much sensitivity. The stuff at the store doesn't really work for me. There's gotta be something. So serendipitously, I was undergoing jaw surgery. And as an entrepreneur, started researching the oral care market, realizing obviously a lot of people have teeth. It's huge market. But there's only a couple that dominate. So it's like saying starting a soda brand, Coca-Cola and Pepsi make a lot of money. Of course they do. Yeah. So I think the delusion is there. I wanted to build something for myself more than anything and see if people would resonate with that. I was thrown off with the way that, for example, my dog's food has more vitamins than toothpaste, the toothpaste on the market. Why are all these spaces, hair care, shampoo with vitamins, all of this stuff, but meanwhile, man, woman, and child brush their teeth at least twice a day, ingesting chemicals. So I had an idea that at some point, if people are spending $20 on avocado toast, it's gonna eventually get to a space where people say, why is there artificial flavoring, colors, inflammatory ingredients in my toothpaste? Yeah. It was just something that I felt was going to come. I didn't think it would take 10 years. I thought I'd have a lot more competition. I realized now doing it, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. But that delusion and that conviction in saying that no matter what, I'm not going to give up. I'm gonna listen to the customer, make it better and better and better. And that's the advantage you have as a smaller, as a new entrant or a smaller business. You can listen to your customer. And so we built Snow direct to consumer. So listening directly to the customer, where let's say someone like Crest or Colgate, their customers are buying it from the shelf. They're not necessarily creating user-generated content, talking about the product. So I knew that if I could figure out how to create products fast enough, listen to the customers and improve those products fast enough, that eventually, even if I had 0.1% of everyone who has teeth, that could be huge.
Yeah.
And I think at the time I had been building businesses. I sold a couple businesses. I was looking for a challenge that I couldn't run away from. And so I knew that with Snow, I could technically run it till I die. And it's something that I could tell everybody. I wanted something that I could share in one sentence. I sell toothpaste. And then I really just saw from the ingredients, the packaging, all the beauty products. People come over, you hide your Listerine bottle underneath the sink, your crusty toothpaste tube, you put it in the mirror, and then you put out the Bath and Body Works and all the nice stuff.
Yeah.
Why isn't oral care a part of that conversation? It's so important. And so that was just me. I couldn't understand why that wasn't such a big, relevant conversation. And as an entrepreneur, I said, I got to do something about it. So as soon as I healed up from my jaw surgery, I told a bunch of people what I was doing.
What age was this?
I was 22.
Okay.
So I was 22.
So from 13 to 22, that was the websites. That was the
Websites,
flipping
affiliate
stuff.
marketing, a lot
Got
of
it.
affiliate marketing, selling other people's stuff for a cut of it.
Okay.
And so I made my first $1 million at 17 as an affiliate.
Yeah.
And then from there,
What were you selling?
weight loss, skincare,
Okay.
pet insurance.
So all of these,
Anything.
all what was happening from 13 to 22, you were developing all the skills and the marketing, the know-how, the affiliates, the traffic, all the things to really take you to 500
The grit,
million over
the
10
conviction,
years. The grit.
when you get all the doubt cast upon you. I always believe you got to look out 2 years ahead is what I've learned. Who do you want to be 2 years from now? Start talking like that, walking like that, dressing like that, all of that. And for me at least, if you keep at it, it comes true to a certain degree. But I think the grit, 13 to 22, being broke, taking the city bus, not knowing what I'm going to do with my life, going to college and graduating college while I'm building my businesses in my dorm room, just trying to figure it out, I think, and build kind of that foundation. I was very blessed and fortunate to grow up broke so that I had that pressure, the adversity. Adversity is adversity. You could grow up rich and have adversity. It's how you use that adversity. And so I think 13 to 22 was developing the skill sets, the tactical, technical skill sets, building websites. I didn't know anything at all. I learned everything online, YouTube, figured it out. And the incentive was money. You'll pay me how much for the website? What do you need? I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I think that was kind of the foundation, building the confidence. Because Snow's not my first business. It's something that I wanted to really build something so big that it was more famous or popular than I could ever be. I wanted a household brand name, and that delusion and conviction, I don't think I would have had that necessarily right up front. I think kind of a couple of years of working for other people as a service provider, coaching, all these different things build that. How do you sell a story? You learn from clients. So I got paid a lot of money to manage other people's advertising budgets. And I got to see, which sectors do well.
Yeah.
What do I like to sell?
Yeah.
And so I was very fortunate. And I recommend everybody, if you can figure out a way to make money while you're learning, earn while you learn,
Yeah. Game changer.
the best.
Game changer. Let me ask you, man, because I feel like you're wired different. I mean, at 13, you said, I'm going to start this. No parents are entrepreneurs. I believe, and I don't know, like, for me, one of my favorite quotes by Oliver Wendell Holmes is something like, once your mind is expanded to a new concept or idea, it's hard to go back to its original way of thinking. Was there something at 13 that you saw that said, I got to do it? Like, what was the switch? Was there anything, like me, I started candy, but now
Right.
I don't remember what made me start selling candy. I started selling CDs. I think I just wanted some money.
Right.
But what do you know? It's a certain wiring.
There is a different wiring, I think, and it can be adapted. So what you're talking about is once you see it, you can't unsee it, and that's that revelation, that epiphany that happens in that moment that drives. It's a drive inside of you. But I think the background, right? I'm broke. I need money. I'm scared for my future. I don't want to live like the people in my neighborhood. I want to be able to help people. So there was a lot of that built in. But then I was spending time at the library when I wasn't playing football. I'd hang out. There were a bunch of gangs in my neighborhood, so kind of stayed out of that area. I'm a big guy like you, so I'm a great recruit. So I was staying out of that area. And as I was on the computer, I put Google AdSense on one of the blogs that I was creating. And I remember making like 7 cents or something, literally like nothing, but it was in my sleep.
Yeah.
And that was so insane to me that I could make $1 even. And the wiring, I think, is as other kids were playing games, I wanted to create the games they wanted to play. I would listen to them and they would say, oh, why doesn't it have this? I go, why doesn't it have that? And so I think the wiring is all money is made in production, not consumption. I'm a producer.
That's good.
I like to create.
Yeah.
And I think you find an outlet as a creative. And I love the sport of business. I love to compete. So I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, but once I started to kind of do it and figure it out, I think the moment though, the first one was, oh my gosh, I just made money in my sleep. I didn't have to talk to anyone, do anything. What if I have 100 blogs and I made $1 a day on each? Then I wouldn't have to go get a job.
Yeah.
So I think that the necessity drives a lot of that in the beginning. And then I think over time, realizing with the impact that my coaching, our products have on millions of customers, it becomes intoxicating. And then once you bring around really good people, you're now responsible as their leader. So there's different epiphanies that happen throughout that. But I think early on, I realized that no one's going to stop me from doing what I need to do. I feel responsible to do. And so once I realized I could make money without having to, actively produce it, then I became obsessed with figuring out the internet. Didn't have a computer at home. We couldn't afford it. Yeah. So I remember on the first AdSense check or whatever it was, me and my dad went to a store called Fry's Electronics, and we had enough to buy one piece. You need two, the monitor and you need the tower. Yeah. And so we had enough to buy one, and we came back the following week to get the second piece. And then we split the Cox internet bill. And that was the start of my home business. And since then, I've sold over $1 billion of products from that original piece. I still have the original computer and all that fun stuff. But
that's crazy.
I think it's just that drive and that wiring is, I want to make the things that people are using. I want to make things better. How can I make things better? And you find an outlet, whether it's like Jeff Fenster with restaurants, me with beauty products, consumer products. Like you find an outlet as an artist. And then once you get the feedback that it's working, it becomes more and more convincing. The trick is you just got to avoid ego. To build great products, you can't have ego. You have to completely shatter that, because if a customer is telling you something, our customers are our number one investors. So if they're saying something, we're listening. We call every single customer. So I think after a while, from that moment, I was hooked. The wiring was definitely a little bit different, and then it was certainly nurtured. Yeah. So I think there's nature and nurture. Are you born an entrepreneur? Maybe. Yeah. But I think the environment, most importantly, the environment in your head. Yeah. Because growing up in the hood, I had to go on YouTube, and YouTube saved my life. And I would type in there, Steve Jobs interview, da-da-da-da-da. And that's what I fed my software with, my supercomputer. I would feed it, clean it up. And that helped me kind of build a world in my mind that was absolutely delusional. I'm taking the city bus, thinking of this future that I might one day have. And that's what kept me going in the dark moments.
Yeah, that's good, bro. That's powerful, man. Just that wire, because I always wonder. So selling $1 billion in products, you're probably misunderstood. Like you're probably a jerk to some. I'm a jerk to some people. Like what mindset do you have to have? Because there's a lot of times where they be like, people will say, Neo's this or Neo's that, and I'm offending people just from me being me. But I understand when you're playing at such a high level, what mindset do you have not worrying about what other people got to say? Tell me, because I still be concerned about what people got to say sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. The imposter syndrome has been heavily studied, and it never goes away. I think you can manage it. I started to craft my businesses around the life I want to live, to give me a lot more, not just freedom. I love to work. It gives me a lot more confidence in my stance. Yeah. And I think that if you're not offending people, even if you're not meaning to offend them, but perhaps you're offending your competition by being that good, you're offending whatever, people that didn't believe in you or whatever it is. I have realized that you got to be your own biggest fan. Absolutely. You got to watch the ego. You got to be your own biggest fan. And you got to understand that reputation is everything. So I always try, if there's something misunderstood, I'll come back. If I can fix it, I can't. I'll go and do it. But sometimes you just can't fix it. Sometimes you offend people simply by sharing what you want to share, saying what you want to say, maybe saying something they want to say that they don't feel confident enough to say, wearing something you don't know. I mean, there's so much inside of there. I have such a dedicated, focused track when I'm building. Yeah. And I surround myself with people and hire people that I feel that they also feel that chip on their shoulder. Like some of my best team members have a chip on their shoulder. They had adversity of some sort. They are doers, lots of grit. And so we understand, especially at Snow, we're a high performing organization. We don't have room for ego. We have no drama. And we know that we love to get things done. And so I think that relieves, surrounding yourself with the right people helps get rid of everyone else. I mean, if they're not paying your rent, your bills, they're not a customer of yours. Even if they're a customer of yours, you're not liking it, get rid of them, find another one. Yeah. I think you have to manage your energy very importantly. Then there's the internal dialogue, which is where the imposter syndrome comes from. That's just an echoing of the times when you didn't know if you could make it or not. And they're so ingrained because of it's a survival mechanism. You have to look fight, flight. And I remember having to I spent probably 10 years convincing myself that I'll never be poor again. 10 years, Lambos, Bentleys, everything. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I sold the company 2 years ago for $70 million cash. The wire came in and me and my partner were like, move it around. I'm like, it's a public company. We built a massive company. We sold it. Yeah. But it's just that feeling of like the ball might drop. And that may resonate with some people listening. The ball might drop, or I may be successful, but then something's going to happen. You deserve it all. Yeah. You deserve it all. This is the human experience. And there's the questioning that comes a lot in my mind is, doesn't it have to be extremely intense and difficult in order for me to deserve it? Because that's been my life. Yeah. And I've created that intensity inside of everything, my life, my business, so that I could kind of push away the thought that I don't deserve this. So can I work all night and then travel and just push myself to the very limit so that I can feel deserving of what comes after that? I think what I'm working on now, and I recommend to everybody, is just that imposter syndrome is going to be there. I have multi-billionaire friends. It's the same thing, same conversation. So you have to work on it now, and I think it's building proper confidence. Proper confidence is taking care of your health, making progress every day. Start really small so you feel more and more confident so you don't give up. Not giving up on yourself. You can give up on a project if it's not making money or it's wasting time or a partner or whatever. Not giving up on yourself is super key. And then I'm kind of teaching yourself that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And I wish I could go back and tell myself all the things that I would think about would come true, and everything that I thought I wanted, I would have. Yeah. And then I realized that the American dream and the dream of entrepreneurship is freedom. It's freedom. Do what you want to do with who you want to do it, hire who you want to, build what you want to build. And I think if you can stay in that zone as long as you can, especially once you get some success, I hire people around me that I can trust to do a lot of those areas so I can stay in my zone of genius. And I think ultimately that's what it comes down to. We're craftsmen at our core. And so at a certain time, I learned how to build a website, run Google ads, everything, sell. But then I go, what do I really like doing? Yeah. And if I spent most of my day doing that, and also what would have to be true in order for me to do that? Yeah. And then you now see the light at the end of the tunnel. That helps with burnout. I burnt out probably 12 times. And so that burnout is really a lack of clarity. And so as soon as you move the goalpost again, And that's one of the reasons why I started Snow is we'll never be big enough. Yeah. So we'll never help enough people. There's billions of smiles. Yeah. So that was something that kept me there because I was building businesses, selling them, and kind of getting lost for a little bit. So I needed an anchor for now 10 years that would help kind of keep me there. That could be your personal brand. That could be a book. You need something that you feel confident about that's challenging. Someone like myself, like yourself, if it's not extremely challenging, we're going to lose focus. Yeah. And so you have to create the game the more you learn about yourself and understand that you deserve it all. So I think that's a piece that you're either going to work on it now, during, or after. Yeah. And what I found is that if you say, I'm going to spend 15 years, I'm not going to have any friends, no relationships, not take care of my body, but when I sell for $1 billion, I'm going to hire the best coach, the best this. A lot of times I hear directly from the horse's mouth, they regret that. Yeah. And so for me, hearing that, I'm trying to work on myself while I work on my business, spiritually, community, everything's important. It's a balance.
That's good.
And I think if you can hold that balance and know that, yes, it's harder in the beginning, but you're going to get there. You're going to get there. And it's already set up, but you got to take care of yourself along the way. And I think that helps when things get rough. You can go back to a center and say, everything's going to be okay. I'm taking care of myself. If this is not serving me, do I either change it or get rid of it and find something that does serve me? And I think that's a practice you have to do, because the more money you have, the more options you have. I've gone through so much already. Where now, for me, I feel like I'm a really old soul now. I've gone through those waves, and now I want to help people, inspire people. I love entrepreneurship. My TV show, Going Public. We just launched affiliatemarketing.com to help others make money.
The URL is fire.
Yeah.
You go back to how you essentially started.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the full circle moment now, legacy time now. So it's good. And, snow and everything's going well. And I think that looking back on
how many employees you got?
So Snow's actually pretty small. We have about 40 team members.
Wow, that's good. That's nice.
It's one lean. Of the, it's extremely
I like lean. Bro, for me, I'm going to be honest, bro. I never really wanted to, I got 500 employees. It sounds like stress for me.
Yeah, it is.
I rather, there are $1 billion companies under 20 people. There's a lot of them. So I'm like, well,
I also realized something,
team.
man, and you might be this way too. Yeah. And this was a hard realization for me, because I've read so many management books, leadership books, everything, consultants. Yeah. I am an entrepreneur more than I am a CEO and a manager.
Yeah.
And that means that, what does that mean? Berkshire Hathaway has 20 people. So you can build it, especially with AI and all this. That's okay. But there is that measuring kind of competitiveness. How much square footage do you have? How many employees do you have? And it's like, the more, now I hear that, I'm like, you have how much square footage? The rent on that? Yeah. And then all the liability, all the people, the salaries, the benefits. At one point, Snow had almost 10 million a year in salaries and benefits. Yeah. It was insane. Yeah. And it was draining me. And I started to lose my creative outlet inside the business. And if you're the CEO and the founder, you're the most important person there. Yeah. Everything has to surround you for your zone of genius. And eventually I was like, man, I got to stop trying to manage 100-person teams. I can't do it. I'm not good at it. Yeah. I keep reading the books. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. I need 15 to 30 is kind of my sweet spot. Yeah. And then I hire extremely talented managers who essentially fill in my weaknesses. So the more the more deep you go, right, with the what are these? The Colby test and all of those, right? You were mentioning. Yeah. Those are super important. Personality tests. We really want to make sure we maintain that culture. And for the most part, everyone's job is to take things off of my plate.
That's good.
That's right. And then they have people and their jobs to take things off of their plate. Yeah. And we move to higher value work. And the way I've learned in leadership is I lead with high expectations, low pressure, which means I have to hire people that have a lot of pressure already, a lot of grit. Yeah. And they got a chip on their shoulder. They have high expectations of themselves, so we don't have to argue. Yeah. So finding the right people, the right 15 people, I'd rather build a business that's lean, digital, no office space, ideally. Yeah. And to each his own. But I've gone down that track, and for me, it wasn't a good fit. And there are people that have massive organizations. They can get so much done because they have amazing, good people. I just need like the best 15 to 25. I'll take care of them. Yeah. I'll do everything for them. We've been able to sell hundreds of millions of dollars of product. So it's not like you need the people, but you need the right people for sure.
The right people. What are you doing now? High value tasks every day, like tasks. I don't know, wherever you like. For me, your day, like what is the highest and best use of your current time right now?
It's usually so. First and foremost, it's meeting with my CEO staff team. So these are my executives, my VP of marketing, making sure they have what they need through authority, clarity, approvals if there needs to be that, so that they gain the confidence. I try to clone myself, my weaknesses, with someone who has the strengths, give them the authority, get out of their way. So most of the time, I'm getting out of the way. That's most of my job. So it allows my brain to do what I do best, which is product development. That's something that I love to do. We just launched in Costco. Yep. So working with our large retail buyers, our distributors, our large affiliates, licensing deals, collaborations, things that will be the highest value, but also require an extreme amount of authority and decision approval, and just my experience, right? I've got the most experience on the team. So those are certain things when we're working with a celebrity deal, when we're doing a Costco deal, or we just launched Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, Revolve. So working with those partners is really important, making sure that we're going to be successful together in that partnership. And then recruiting is the rest of my time. Yeah. So I'm always looking for consultants, advisors to help my team. So I'm recruiting for them as well. And then I'm recruiting myself. LinkedIn, I reach out.
Yeah.
I'm insane with it. I'll stalk someone.
Yeah.
And if we're stuck on a problem, they know they can come to me like a totem pole and I help direct them, but I don't move.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do most of the day.
What is 2 to 3 best pieces of advice you've ever been given?
Let's see here. A fool and his gold are soon invited everywhere.
Say that part again.
A fool and his gold are soon invited everywhere.
Okay.
Spouting whales get harpooned.
Explain that first one, just so I understand.
So a fool and his gold, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You get invited everywhere all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Donate here, nonprofit this, do this. And all of a sudden you've got so many friends, or you're partying, so a fool and his gold are soon invited everywhere. Yeah. So that's one to watch for. Second one, spouting whales get harpooned. You can be a whale beneath the surface, but as soon as you spout, someone can get you. So watch the way that you position your brand, yourself, your reputation. Showing off isn't always the most strategic thing, and it's not just watches and cars. It's just what you say and what you do in public is super important. And then I would say another good third one I would say is honestly, I would say, looking back at my story, never giving up, man. I know everyone says that, but we do give up. I give up sometimes. Yeah. I give up a lot of times. And ultimately, though, you can have a bad week, a bad season. I call them seasons. This season, how's your season going? Is it a 6-month season, 3-month season, a year season? This season's rough. Well, that means you might have a good season coming up. So if you can see life in seasons, you've got a beautiful life ahead of you. And I always look at it, if there's a bad 3 months in business, there's going to be a good 3 months in business. What can we learn from this? So not really a quote, but just never give up and always reinvest in yourself. The best thing you can do is invest in yourself, no matter what that is. Masterminds, books, anything like that, a podcast, that is the best because I am self-educated completely.
What's your top favorite books? Business book?
My favorite business book, one of my mentors, Dr. Robert Cialdini, wrote a book called Influence, and then he followed that up with Persuasion. Those 2 books are incredible, especially for a marketing guy like me, learning why people buy. There's another book called Multipliers, and Multipliers is talking about how do you hire people that are exponential growth to your business. So if I hire someone and they do a job, but they're not a leader, they're not a manager, they don't, they're not multiplying necessarily, or processes that multiply the value of their role. So that book talks a lot about how to find those multipliers, et cetera. And then there's a third one that is a little bit more on the personal development side called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And that book I recommend everybody read, but especially men. That book was life-changing. And it talks about 3 different archetypes of how we sabotage ourselves sometimes. And there's a good pairing to that called the Man's Search for Meaning, or that one was
Frankel. Yeah, that was a fire one.
So I read that one years ago, and then I got the No More Mr. Nice Guy, and I felt like it was a good pairing. Okay. That one was a good one.
We'll check that one out ASAP. Yeah. Let me ask you, man. You've done 500 million, billion on the internet, and I know a lot of it has been. I don't know. A portion of it has came from celebrities, influencers. And as you heard yesterday, my goal is to work with more influencers and celebrities. What I've come to learn, or I see about a lot of the celebrities, sometimes they don't want to post. They don't want to take ownership of it. The work ethic, they got so much going on, so it isn't a priority. What have you seen? What has been the components of your most successful partnerships with influencers or celebrities?
It's a great question. I think they're hustlers, man. They're different. So celebrities don't like to pay for anything. They want everything for free, and they're catered to in that format. And the bigger they are, the more of an entourage. And what do I got to do? Why? What am I getting paid again? And I played that game. I didn't know a thing about Hollywood, and I just jumped in. And we've worked with every Kardashian, Teen Mom, Real Housewife, on all the brands. I mean, just everything. But now, the last 2 years, and I build brands with them. But you're right. It's different. Most of the time they're not entrepreneurs. They are the business, but it's different. And so what I found is that if you're going to work with celebrities now, be very intentional with what you need from them. And you lock them in, so you make sure it gets done. I need one post. I need this. We worked with Snoop Dogg a couple of years ago, and I was like, I don't need a post. I need a 30-second video iMessage to me, and then I'll send the rest of the money. Like, it has to be kind of packagized as you build that trust. And then there's a chance that if it's their idea and if they're funding it, you have a chance.
Yeah, if they're funding it, that's good. So
Yeah.
getting some upfront
Skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, I know you're Drake and so, but I'm Josh Snow. Like, you need me to build what you want to build, and I don't need you to build what I need to build. So why are we here? So there has to be a shared respect.
That's good.
And if you don't have it, don't do the deal. Do not do the deal. Wait on it. Wait on it. And so and I found that you wait, celebrities sometimes need a little bit of extra cash. They spent too much at the Rolex store, and they'll do a post for a little bit less, and they'll do those things. But I think today, it's with affiliatemarketing.com, it's all about the nano influencer. All the money used to be held at the top. Only the Kardashians made that money. We have our top affiliates making 80 to 100,000 a month at 19 years old with 5,000 followers. Absolutely nobody's, right? That is, to me, is the future, because it's more authentic. You get way more out of it. If you spend 500K, let's say, on a Kardashian run, how much could you get out of, thousands, tens of thousands of creators posting about your product? And that's going to generate way more in sales. You're going to get similar reach levels, but from all kinds of different people. So celebrity marketing can certainly work. I do think that it's gone really expensive. And I think that there's like a missing gap. Every celebrity wants to have a Kylie Jenner, Skims, and they go, why don't I
Skims
have that?
went crazy.
Yeah.
It seemed like everything they touched just
Most of it.
Well, you only need Skims one time though.
3.4 billion, and they've got what's the other
She
Good
got
American
a good team though.
that
Team.
I forget her
Emma
name.
Gray, Emma.
She's the one. She's a shark. And I think, again, that's the model, right? You hire the right people, you keep them close, you give them the authority, and they're really smart distribution. Like Kylie just did the Sprinter vodka brand. What's one of the hardest spaces to gain distribution in? Alcoholic beverages. You use the celebrity to gain unfair access to distribution in a very lucrative space. Sister did tequila, you'll do vodka. So they're getting better and better and better and better and better at it. Skims was just the most natural fit for Kim, and I think the timing, Spanx kind
of. It's a new reinvention of Spanx, and that made her billionaire. Billions. It's the same exact thing.
If I'm looking at Sarah, looking at Skims, it's the same thing. And she took, I think, those earth tones. There's something about the nudes.
All inclusive, from black ladies to white ladies to everybody feeling.
All the billboards with her friends doing this stuff. So it kind of creates this. I think they've really nailed it now. And I think everything they do touch, like 99% of it turns to gold. Kylie did a swim brand, and it was not good, and they just disappeared with it. But sometimes you have those flops. Everybody has that. But they have really figured it out. I like to utilize influencers to kind of replicate that. That's what I did with Snow, right? Snow, nobody knows it. Have a Kardashian post about it. Now people go, what's Snow? Now, if you do a good enough job, they like and trust her. They may like and trust you a little bit faster. And so I think it can be useful. I think in the future, I'm going to be really focused on building hundreds of thousands of affiliates with affiliatemarketing.com, and let the everyday person, just like on our show Going Public, we allow the everyday American to invest in companies that used to be only reserved for the rich and private equity. Where I came from, democratizing access to information, access to resources, and access to income earning opportunities. And I think that's one of the best ways. And I've seen it now time and time again with every brand we put in our ecosystem. We see who ends up making 100,000 in a month or 20,000 in a month. Someone's working at a grocery store, posts one video in their car, and it blows up on TikTok through our training. So that, to me, is going to be, I think, the future. Social commerce is already $1 trillion business. It's going to 6x by 2030. That just means that people buying on the social media apps. So if you're on Meta, or if you're on Instagram shop, you don't leave Instagram to buy. That's about 20% of our D2C sales now is platform sales. That's going to be probably 50 to 75% for most brands one day. And it's going to be driven by a stay-at-home mom that posts videos all day.
Yeah, bro. I'm literally seeing, bro, people with no following, bro. Like,
Zero.
I'm talking about, it was a post the other day about, it was like a cleanse or something. Like, I'm talking about 200,000 shares, 50,000 comments. You go to her post, 2,000 followers, and I'm like, but she probably sold so many of them. One of my homies, he went to Turkey. Shout out to Kimo. He went to Turkey and he did this. You know, Turkey got this full body thing you can do, whatever. They didn't pay him, I don't believe, or it was. But I'm talking about 8-10 million views. I mean, the session's like $2,000. He had maybe 50,000 comments. It was a crazy amount.
We had a guy, man, Logan. He was one of our first ones to pop off, and his video's now been seen over 30 million times.
Yeah.
We cross-posted on YouTube. It got 6.8 million views, all organic.
Yeah.
And I think what happened is that the smartphone suppliers have made the cameras so good, so fast, the editing, all of this stuff, that we're all walking around like little Steven Spielbergs.
Yeah.
So we democratized and crowdsourced high-quality content. And then because it's been so manufactured for so long, people are tired of seeing that stuff. So if you took that same post that he did, and even a Kardashian posted it, might not get the same amount, believe it or not. It could get 3, 4, it might get suppressed.
Yeah. So
now you see that, and all the platforms, Instagram's doing it right now. YouTube just partnered with Shopify with their YouTube Shopping and YouTube affiliate program. It's moving to that realm, because think about it, as a brand owner, you deal with one prima donna for 6 months to get one post that sells nothing.
Yeah.
Or you spend those 6 months helping stay-at-home moms, college students. You give them a free product. You teach them how to talk about the product. They've got their iPhone. Everybody has an iPhone.
Yeah.
So it's all the same quality. And they sell millions of dollars of products. Like 8 million views in like TikTok Shop is a couple 100,000 in sales.
So you're bullish on like all things TikTok Shop right now.
The reason why I like TikTok Shop for products is that the commission's tied in directly to TikTok.
Yeah.
So they're not having to ask you to get paid through PayPal. There's no lack of trust.
You're getting your money.
Built in. You're getting your money
and the
before
customers getting their product.
The customers getting their product. You get the money before I get my money.
Yeah.
And it's all automated. And then what's good about that is you can see the data. So in a perfect world, I'd have everyone in Miami at once post on their TikTok. I don't care if they have one follower. Everyone just posts once.
Yeah.
And then we would just take the top 10% of those and run those on Facebook as ads, mash them up.
Yeah.
And now you never need to create creative ever again.
Wow. And that's essentially what you're doing with affiliatemarketing.com.
Exactly.
Is you'll go have, we're doing a brand launch. I need 2,000 people to post this thing.
Correct.
And you're going to get paid, not you per se, but y'all going to get paid after this product sells, essentially.
20% of every sale, and you get paid first. And what we're doing now is with some of the brands, we're giving a piece of equity. Because if you sell $1 million of my brand, that's like a sales. I mean, why wouldn't you get a little piece of the company? And then now you unlock another level of incentivization, because once they make $1 million, they also become prima donnas.
Yeah.
So easier to work with, way better, and there's way more of them. Yeah. So you could just be like, all right, put them on ice. Where a Kardashian, there's one that you want to work with, and you have to make it work. So I think that's the beautiful thing. But I would say TikTok Shop allows you to track the commission, allows you to see the stats. Where like Instagram, Facebook, blogging, you have to put a coupon code. It's a little more sticky to track. Yeah. We do that as well. But TikTok Shop is the first. YouTube is next. Instagram's doing the same thing. So eventually, everywhere you post, you'll be able to make money from. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Let me ask you, how do I find... And it's 2 parts, and some of this is really offline. But my show, I'll be asking for me too. But
well, I'm here.
How do you find Kim K, Casanat? How do I find them before they become that? And I want to attach her. The biggest thing I see, bro, and it's really, and I'm using Uzi. I don't know Uzi, but I don't see Uzi promoting his own brand. I don't see so many people that got massive influence. And again, I do know this, that oftentimes your influence, just because you got a lot of followers, don't necessarily translate to dollars. So I do know that. But I do believe that so many of them could sell out merch, could sell out strands if they smoke. They could. And I'm like, why aren't they doing this? Is this somebody not mentioning it? So I'm looking for more people where we could just come build them a skills,
franchise their system, essentially, their brand in a proper way.
Yeah, and help them make more money.
So that's what Emma does, right? There are some that do that to a certain degree. Beach House Group does that with celebrities. They have Bays, the luggage brand, Moon Oral Care with Kendall. So they're good at doing that and kind of franchising it out. It's hit or miss a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, it's just kind of thinking through, we did a deal with a huge fitness influencer. She has 25 million followers, posted a couple times. I think we sold $500 a product.
Crazy.
It was like the most insane thing that I've ever seen. And so that was rough. We did Ellen DeGeneres.
Do you
At
drop
least that
them?
was,
Do you drop them or you keep trying?
if it doesn't work immediately, I don't have time for it. It's just no. And now I know I'm so PTSD that if it doesn't work even from before, but the thing is, like, how do you get them as they're coming up and then franchise around them, right? Mr. Beast is doing it right now. Obviously he's the biggest, but there's Kai, they usually do endorsement deals, right? Like Aiden Ross. What kind of product would be good for him? Would it be like a Focus gum? Yeah. Would it be, there are products that can be created. You ask, why don't they do it? They don't know where to go. They don't know where to start. They're making us so much money off their digital stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go, just do another tour or sell some more t-shirts. And it's like, man. And then the Universal Music Group and all these guys, UMG, the biggest, they're not necessarily looking for that. They're looking for a brand like Snow to just drop 200K. They get their cut and Uzi does one little video. Yeah. And you're like, man, that money's going to disappear. Yeah. You need equity. Yeah. You need equity of the right companies.
I said, bro.
Scooter Braun was one of the best examples too. He learned that with Justin and them, but there aren't many doing it.
Yeah. My homeboy, he managed people. I'm like, bro, he represents this young lady. I'm like, and she do deal with like Pretty Little Things. I'm like, bro, they pay her $250,000 to $500,000.
I'm like, sure they do.
But I'm like, bro, why don't she just do her own brand?
Or do both. Milk that. Yeah. That's what me and Lala did. So Lala has the deal with Pretty Little Thing. And we started a Nala about 4 years ago. Rice water, focused on African-American and Latina hair types. And you can do both, right? So you can look at it and say, oh yeah, get that. Someone's gonna pay you $250,000 for a post, go for it. As long as it doesn't disenfranchise your brand equity or what you're trying to do next. So that's the thing, is they don't know what they're gonna do next. They want a Kylie Jenner type brand. And I do think that there are a lot of celebrities. Ryan Reynolds went out and did it himself. Mint Mobile, Aviation Gin, he's now a billionaire.
Yeah.
And you see it time and time again. He went crazy. But but he knew, like Jay-Z, you look at everyone's track record. Rihanna, how much money did she make post her career, right? 100, 200 million in her career, billions. Crazy. That's why she's only done 2 events in the last 5 years.
Yeah, you can't even
Super Bowl, and the Ambani guy that she got paid 8, 9 million, and he's also the owner of Sephora India, where she distributes. So like, that's a whole different game. And once you see that happen, they disappear because the money's different. That's getting rich versus getting wealthy. And I think there needs to be something in that world of helping them do that. One of my really good friends, Stephen Rhodes, who manages a lot of the NBA players, Lala, he's one that's good looking at those kind of fintech deals and investment at least. But to your point, why doesn't Kai or Aiden or all these people have more things? Mr. Beast is finally, they're the biggest. And he's finally chocolate and a couple of things, and it's all working. What about, to your point, the how do we track who's going to be the next ones?
Yeah,
bring them into a collaborator house,
right?
And then get a 360 deal for the products so that they can actually make money beyond that. Yeah, and then sure, helping the content and stuff. But I think the money on digital is so good, and it multiplies so quickly on media, that they're more lazy to do the other things. 100%. I think there's a little bit of that piece inside of there.
Yeah, that's good. That makes sense. Man, licensing deals. What are you doing right now? Well, we talked about collaborations. We talked about partnerships, licensing.
So we had an Elvis license for a few years. So we had an older demographic for our teeth whitening kits starting out. We licensed with a company called ABG. ABG is a multi-billion-dollar. They own Forever 21, American Eagle, Reebok. Shaq sold half of his name, 51% of his name, to Jamie Salter. So Jamie Salter is what you're talking about. He's probably one of the best at taking a Juicy Couture he bought. So these brands that kind of fell down for a bit, but are iconic, swallowing them up and then building massive franchises around them. And so I think that with licensing, you got to match your demographic. It's super important. So the thing with us is everybody has teeth, so we sell to everyone. So sometimes it's hard to find the right one, but we're looking at Juicy Couture, for some juicy products, toothpaste, some limited stuff. We're looking at some of the nostalgia brands, Tommy Hilfiger, like just different things that would stand out versus just like Welch's grapes. Like we have all those on deck where we can do flavors. So you can do flavors, you can do colors, and then you can do actual we're talking to Warner Brothers on Harry Potter. We sell magic powder, a magic wand. That's the name of the products. And so we thought maybe there's something there for our 25 to 45 audience that they might like that. So licensing's fun.
How are you structuring it? Like how? Because I'm sure these big brands, Harry Potter, they want
7 to 10% of sales, gross revenue on sales of licensed products with a minimum. So it could be as low as 25,000 a year. I've negotiated them down to 100,000. It's all profit for them.
And they 7 to 10% that they get.
They get of gross sales.
Love it.
Or the higher amount. So it's 25K a year or 50K a year for, let's say, 4 years, and you have the right to use it in that exclusive category of teeth whitening kits.
Yeah.
And then if you don't sell enough, you get a penalty. And then we also have the ability to take away the license if you're not performing well enough, and we have someone else to swap you out with. So all they do is they have 100 salespeople just constantly, what do you have? What do you want to do? So they license out every single area, and then they collect, 50,000 times 1,000 of them, and then the sales on top of that. So that's kind of what ABG does, and they're a licensing powerhouse. And then there are, Warner Brothers, for example, 99% of them are 7 to 10%. They all want 7 to 10%. Some might be a little bit more. Maybe you get a little bit less, but it's generally around, give it 10% of your sales. So you have to think, if I put Harry Potter on this, can I charge 10% more?
Yeah.
Then you pay for itself, and then you get the brand equity spillover of the influencer. So those are a little bit better. Dead celebrities and franchises are a little bit easier to work with right now for me because we're so focused on the nano affiliates and all of that. So we're looking at like, what are 2 or 3 that would make sense? And maybe we mix it up a little bit. Some of our competitors have done Barbie. They do kids stuff, Coco Melon. So I've done all that stuff. I want to kind of spice it up a little bit and kind of mix it up with some of our licensing. Because licensing is to drive sales, certainly, but it's also an awareness play.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of match, do you want to be connected to this brand? Does it make sense? Does Juicy Couture, Harry Potter, and whatever all in the same year makes sense for which products? So it's fun. It's definitely can get a little distracting, just like the celebrity deals. So I like to work with licensing like agencies, and they'll just go and kind of set it up.
Find the people for you.
The price is right.
Yeah.
Then if you pair them together, so you take a celebrity, a licensing, and then you go to someone like Amazon and say, I'm bringing together, a buddy of mine got Smurfs license, and then vitamins or whatever, kids gummies, I think it was.
Wow.
And went to Amazon and said, we have Smurfs and we have this. We want to launch exclusively on Amazon. As a nobody, like doesn't know Amazon. Smurfs, oh yeah, that sounds great. We're actually looking for kids vitamin brands. Oh yeah. Homepage, Smurfs, vitamins. So if you do it right, it could really hit.
Yeah. What are you doing now to test before I get into bed with Kim K? I'm using this for, because or that person who 25 million followers on the internet and she made you $500, which was a total waste of your time. Like, how are you testing? We're trying to put parameters together right now to test before because it takes us the same amount of effort if we're going to go do an 8-figure campaign or a 6-figure campaign. Same team, same bandwidth, and some of these are just flops.
Well,
bro.
I know. It kills me. I spend days thinking about the $500,000 checks that I wish I had back. Yeah. But lesson learned. Yeah. And I think the way you test it now, or at least how I would test it, one, no, we're not doing this. So we were working on a deal with Bella Thorne. She's a huge fan of the brand. She reached out. We're talking to her. We said, we'll do it, but it has to be a TikTok shop video. Otherwise, we will not know how well that video specifically did. Yeah. I don't care how many millions of views it got. Like, we will know. And guess what? We'll pay you 20% of the sales or the minimum of 50, 60,000 that you want, or above that. But I promise you're going to make more than that. She's got 15, 20 million followers on TikTok. One video where she just tags the product. But the rebuttal, which I hear a lot from celebrities, is, well, we don't like to make that type of content. It's the same content. You post, you wearing an outfit, just tag the product, and you make hundreds of thousands. And in fact, Bella, if you just did this, You'd make millions a month. You wouldn't even need to do these other brand deals. And then you'd want to launch your own brand. So that's hard, and you can't. I kind of got to a point where I've lost patience trying to convince people that I'm trying to make them more money.
Yeah.
So especially like at that level. So for me, I think testing, what I would do and what we do now is you can actually target their audience, target just their audience on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and just see compared to your regular ads, is their audience somehow different? Just start there, $100. Is it different? Then potentially you can take like an image or something. You can't necessarily endorse them because that's illegal, but maybe kind of maybe like a giveaway to meet Amanda Cerny, or maybe she sells some products.
Well,
or
giveaways are working too right now.
Giveaways
I remember
are
back in the day.
It was hot for a while, and then it
yeah.
went drop for a bit. Now they're different though. Now they're a little bit better. But a giveaway could work. I would say targeting their audience could work. Worst case scenario, which is, I mean, if you're going to lose 500K, what I would say is, I'll pay you 20K. Let's say it's a 500K deal. I'm going to pay 20K. You don't even need to post. I'm going to do an AI image of you. You don't even need the product. Oh, I'm in the Maldives. Okay, fine. Is this picture good? We're just going to run a few $1,000 with it.
Yeah.
And if it does really well, we're immediately wiring you the rest, and we're going to roll, or the next tranche, because you got to tranche it out.
Yeah.
And as soon as it doesn't work, you got to have an out clause. But I think that's the only way, without them posting organically to do it. How do you get their affinity to test that that's going to convert? The other thing you can do is you can find, like we've done like lookalikes to see like if there's an affinity. So there are Kardashian lookalikes, for example. You have to be careful because if the likeness is too strong, they can sue you for it.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see, does that style work? But I believe that you should bake that into every deal if you're working with celebrities. Anything we do, we try to test. Otherwise, like I told Bella, we've got 100 stay-at-home moms that for a few $100 a month, they'll post every day on TikTok Shop, no drama, not complain, and they'll probably still outsell you.
Yeah.
So now it's like, it's changed where I'm just like,
Yeah.
I
got these nanos ready to go. An army of them, like ready to rock.
affiliatemarketing.com. We got to line them up. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And I started that way. Like I literally created 16 years ago, uploaded a video on YouTube. It's made me hundreds of thousands of dollars through affiliate. That's TikTok Shop. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It just, the power dynamic switched. It went from the social networks making all the money using us. How many times do people get paid from Facebook? Never. It's free though.
Yeah.
But you're the product.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of changing where TikTok came in and said, what if we didn't make 100 billion, we made 80 billion? Okay, but we got there faster because we gave 20 billion to these Americans that want to promote products.
Yeah.
That was like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And the closest thing to match to it is a network marketing organization. Those are the fastest growing product companies in the world.
I thought about that. Yeah. When we talked about MLM, I was wondering, I'm like, yeah, on a panel the other, I'm like, I wonder, did you
John.
do anything with MLM?
No, I mean, I joined some early on.
Brands?
This is the closest I can
This
get.
TikTok Shop is MLM.
It's the closest I can get. They're not selling the opportunity.
Don't feel, you know,
They're
people
selling
feel
product.
a certain way. Yeah.
The thing is they're only selling product. It's free to sign up. There's nothing. So I like that. It's free to sign up. You don't have to recruit your family.
Yeah.
You're going to want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're going to make money and they're going to say, what? That stupid video you posted in the car in 30 seconds? And the trick is these people don't care as much. The trick with posting content is you can't care, especially that type of content. You just got to post it. I see vacuum videos. I see all kinds, 35 million views. Yeah. And the woman made $400,000 in commission in 2 months.
It's crazy.
Like it's just, it's unreal.
Changes your game, bro. It like these mothers and people didn't know this existed, bro. Like, wait, I'm cleaning my house anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to clean my car, put the little thing up.
Yeah.
And you're cleaning it and then grab a clip. AI does it nowadays. Like it's all in the palm of our hands. Yeah. And affiliate marketing's been around for a long time, but it was a little more technical. You know, it's like, all right, I got to build a website to rank in Google.
Yeah.
To then put an offer link inside of here. It's a little bit more technical. And then you have like Amazon affiliate links and things like that. They pay 3% and there's those things, but not built right in where everything that you have in your house. Like I recommend everyone go on TikTok Shop, look around your house, see what is on TikTok Shop that you already have. And then literally just, I'm telling you, the craziest videos that are not their face, it's just their hands. Because then people go, I don't want my face in it. What if people around see that?
Yeah.
I want people to see me making money. They're going to see how much mops I'm selling.
Yeah.
And they're going to want a piece of it. I promise you. It sounds silly, but it is the best thing ever. And these people are now full-time. They quit their job.
So this is almost that formula you just broke down. It's almost a 0 to 10 million. Excuse me, a 0 to 10,000.
Or 0 to 10,000 a month
formula.
is formula.
Go find something in your.
Yes.
Anybody can go do this right now.
Anybody.
Go find a product, and you even go on TikTok shop. Ask them to send you the product
For free.
and just do a video a day till one hits.
And you just never stop. The trick is our best affiliates, they post every day for at least 30 days, usually 60. Some of them do 2 times a day. They'll create a second account to put it on. If they speak another language, they throw it in the other language as well. And then there are spy tools that you can go on the spy tool and just grab all the top videos and make your own version of it. That's what our top affiliates do. Yeah. If you ask our top affiliates like Deshira, Logan, we asked them, what did you do differently? I just used a spy tool, saw that was working for another brand, and I just did my own version of it, and it has 80 million views.
Wow.
It's just, that's the form, that was the form, but the 0 to 10,000 a month, that's got to be one of the best right now is TikTok shop, affiliate, at home with the products you already have, free samples. Yeah. It's unreal. In fact, I look at it and I'm like, man, and I promote our own products, right? I'm like, I don't know, man, back in the day, that would grab my attention. $80,000 on a video in the car. And then by the way, our top affiliates, they do it over and over and over and over and over again. One of our top affiliates says goalie, snow, Nello, Euro. Every video is just popping off because they figured out the formula for them.
Yeah, man. We talked about 0 to 10. I want to talk about, we'll get ready to wrap soon. I want to talk about 1 to 10 million. I feel like there's a lot of people just got to that million or made a million, but they want to go from 1 to 10 million in a year. What are some keys that you're seeing, right? Because things don't work as well as they did now. 2 years ago now. So what are you telling a brand? You are a consultant. Hey, I got a brand. We're doing $1 million a year. I got to go to 10 million this year. It has to happen. Yeah. What you looking at?
Well, first and foremost, if they're advertising, what can we do to scale the advertising? Paid advertising, I spent $100 million of my own money just on Facebook, just for snow. So just advertising. So that's definitely one of the fastest ways to grow it. So if they're advertising, I would say, let's look at your channels. What is your return on ad spend? Is it 2 times? You put $1 in, you get 2 out. Is it 3 times? Is it 1.1? What is your business? Is it digital or is it physical? So what is the actual profit? So we would look at that at $1 million. Then we look at the team. It's generally one person, maybe a few people helping out. Where are the bottlenecks? Because you're probably, I would do a time audit for the week and follow that CEO around and see every single thing he or she is doing. And then say, this needs to be swapped out. This can be, because you can't get to 10 million in a year spending 3 hours printing shipping labels. Yeah. You're never going to get there. So we'd have to circle those, look at the channel that they're running on today and the profitability, the efficiency of that channel and how scalable it is. I'm always looking for scalable and profitable channels. So Facebook could be one of them, Instagram, TikTok ads, Snap ads, Pinterest ads, we run them all. So you look at where they're at. Now, if they say we're word of mouth, how do you get more word of mouth? Do you have a referral program? Which events can you speak at? You have 365 days. You should be speaking on a podcast or an event every day of the 365. And at the end of the night, collect your coins, follow up with people. And that's another way to do it. So you got the team. If they're word of mouth, I like the paid stuff because you can scale that a little bit. From 1 to 10, Snow doubled for a long time. Without paid, we would not have been able to do that. Yeah. So if they're not doing paid, I would say, let's take your offer. Let's let's build a funnel, landing page, et cetera, and let's figure out how we can juice the return on ad spend only so we can spend more aggressively. So if we can spend, like I tell my team, if you can spend $50,000 or $100,000 a day at a 2x return on ad spend, it's not the best. I would like it, everyone wants it to be higher, but doubling my money, I give you 50, you give me 100, even with the product costs and everything, I get the customers, do that all day. On the digital stuff, 1.5. 1.5 because it's my name, it's my brand. I know I'm, as long as I don't go anywhere, I'm here. So I'm going to invest in myself. And we can always add upsells, cross sales, continuity so that they pay you every month. So I'd look at their offer and say, how do we grow this? So for example, with Snow, to go from 1 to 10 million, we had to expand the Facebook advertising channel add up sales and cross sales. Would you like a second one, sir? Would you like fries with that?
Yeah.
Would you like a drink? Would you like shipping protection?
Yep.
So you're adding stuff to it. And then I'm constantly auditing my time to make sure I'm not spending too much time in the wrong areas, because to go from 1 to 10x, right? If you're selling a product, your supply chain is going to be stressed out a little bit, because now you're telling your manufacturer to make all this product. But it's certainly possible. And I would say that the difference is the 10 to 100 is where everything breaks. 1 to 10 is you got to get out of your own way. You got to hire some help.
Yeah.
You got to look at your offer. It's all about the offer. People spend too much time trying to just make their ads better. What is the offer? Could you be price testing? Could you charge, instead of charging $100, could you charge $1,000?
Yeah.
And now you just 10x the rate at which you reached $1 million.
Yeah, that's good. That's powerful. Let me ask you this, and we'll close with this. One of my guys, Jabril, he says discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. What's something you regret in business? Like, is there a deal you overlooked? There's a lot of
I certainly
things
regret all the millions I spent on celebrities and stuff. The ones that didn't work, right?
That
The,
didn't work,
half and half.
Yeah. It's a 50% ratio of ones that work and ones who don't. Yeah, and that's
If you're
tough.
lucky.
That means I'm gonna bust 50% of the chances.
If you're lucky. If
you're
you're really
lucky.
good.
Yeah,
You're really good.
good.
If not, you're gonna lose like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
It's
Damn.
really tough. But the ones that win, outweigh it. But I would say trying to do too much at once inside of the business is definitely my biggest regret. We have the world's first oral care vending machine. I was hiring a sales team to put that on all the airports and all this stuff. I'm like, we need it in all the airports. We launched CVS, Walgreens, Best Buy, Bed Bath Beyond, Macy's, and one other one in like a span of 3 or 4 months. We launched 40 groundbreaking products in 1 year, but only 10 of them survived. So I think if I could go back, the regret is hiring too fast, too many people, launching too many products, launching too many channels, trying to go international, trying to do too much, thinking that it's time now. We got to do it all. If Crest has India, I need India.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, never play another man's game. And you got to stick to your guns. And I lost tens of millions of dollars trying to do too much at once.
That's good.
And it felt good because you could tell everyone, I'm doing this. Look at this vending machine. Look at this. And in reality, do more inside of what's working. And that's better. So deeper until you're at 10 million, let's say. You can go to 10 million with one single channel: Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads. You don't need 100 to focus.
Yeah.
And
it's hard
that's
to focus,
so
bro.
hard
That
to do.
crap is
That's
hard
my
to do.
biggest regret.
Yeah. That's good, man. Man, this has been a phenomenal episode. Thank you for coming
Thank you
on.
for having me, bro.
Let everybody
Anytime.
know how they could connect with you. Definitely go to affiliatemarketing.com, y'all, to learn. That's a good. Did you been had it or you just got that?
I had it for a little while. I like. So we have @Snow
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm @Josh Snow on Instagram.
Yeah.
Our kids line is @Frost on Instagram.
Yeah, that's fire.
Affiliatemarketing.com.
Yeah.
So those are places to find me. And then our TV show, we're filming season 3 right now.
Yeah.
It's at goingpublic.com.
Yeah.
And so I recommend everybody watch it. Watch it there. You don't have to get commercials. Yeah. That's our educational business show where we help kind of profile amazing businesses on the show and allow people to swipe up and invest as little as $50, and they own equity in the company they're watching.
Wow, that's fire. You come up with some good ideas, man.
That one wasn't mine. That one was Todd Goldberg and Darren Marble, but they brought it to me.
Okay.
And I said, I have to be a part of this. So I invested. I became a host of the show, and I'm just obsessed with entrepreneurship and teaching that.
Yeah.
And this season 3 is an exclusive with X. Okay. So it should be a nice one. And we got a lot of fun stuff going on in there. So goingpublic.com, and then anything Josh Snow @Snow, affiliatemarketing.com. That's where I'm at.
Let's get it. And I'll say this. I think they might have messed up, right? I think they would have been OnlyFans right now if they had the right person. Playboy Bunny brand.
I know.
I feel like he died and the brand just went.
Yeah, well, Sun went a little wild, and then they sold it. I bought a bunch of stock because they were going to start buying intimates and lingerie brands and grouping them together, which I thought was cool during COVID. And then they tried that a little bit, and then they completely missed the ball.
Yeah.
And that's a brand that I would certainly buy.
Yeah. That'd have been, yeah. I think it could still come back with the right operators until you.
Might just have to wait. It comes in waves, man. You wait a little bit. Sometimes I have a buddy sold his company for hundreds of millions of dollars, bought it back for $1.
Yeah.
So sometimes
I see a lot of people do that. The dude who owned Barstool did that.
Yes.
I think he sold it for $500 million.
Yeah, $700 million. Yep.
Bought it for nothing back.
Yep.
I like how that sounds.
It's good. That's kind of the best case scenario where you sell something, you get all the money wired into your account, and then they call you back 2 years later and say, do you want it back?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I'll do it again.
Yeah. Bro, well, thank you for coming on,
Appreciate
bro.
it, man.
Hey, guys, that was a fire episode. We'll see you guys on the next one, y'all. Peace.